Hello, and welcome back to the Autumn Poppy Designs podcast. I'm Paula, coming to you from the Grey Highlands in Ontario, Canada, where I live with my family, my husband, my two kids, and a very wild cat named Pepper. So, welcome back. I know it's been a minute. I know I promised weekly content for y'all, but oh my gosh, it has been a time. So, to catch you up on what's been going on, we've had snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm, with I think about in 2 months, 20 accumulative days of snow days. Mind you, my kids didn't stay home for all 20 days because we walk to school. Well, we're within walking distance. Usually I'll just drive them over, drop them off, and then continue on to work. But 20 days, 22 days maybe? I don't know. It was crazy high. Um, that's how many days the buses got canceled, and then schools were closed completely for 2 of those days. There were some days where it felt like the school should have been closed because I didn't go to work. But yes, there were a lot of snow days, a lot of missed time at work. Then the kids were sick as well, so there was time missed on top of that. Oh, and with all that, turns out I developed an iodine deficiency. Didn't even know about that. We pretty much get it, iodine, pretty much get that through seaweed, which is salt, and salt, like table salt. Iodine, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Salt with iodine added to it. So table salt is really the only way you're going to get it otherwise, because it's not a naturally occurring ingredient, but apparently it's something our bodies really, really need. So what was happening to me was I was getting very, very tired. Like I slept 1 hour a night every night tired. My eyes were closing on me as I was sitting. It's terrible. The other problem I had, which was actually really big, was and it's still occurring, if I act weird, it's because my arms are going numb. That's what's been happening really badly. The whole arm goes numb. Both of them do it. It's just, it got to the point where I would knit 2 rows and then have to put down my knitting because I just completely numb. It was terrible. And it mostly is in the elbows because like you're bending your arms and stuff. So, I mean, sitting there knitting. And I would try to maintain proper posture and everything because my back kind of requires it now. And still, they were just so painful. The worst was last Friday. I woke up with my whole entire arm completely painfully numb. I was trying to stretch it out during the night, and then I ended up having to sleep on the couch sitting up because that was the only way they wouldn't go numb on me and I could get a good night rest. So, interesting stuff. But yes, iodine is a weird one. And the reason we're deficient in it is because we switched to the pink Himalayan salt, which doesn't have iodine in it. So we're now taking kelp pills as a supplement, and it's been a crazy difference. Crazy difference. I thought I was just maybe deficient in the B complexes, like B12, B6, B1, 2? I don't know. Definitely B6 and B12. But, because the symptoms are kind of similar. So, my husband did some research and realized it's the iodine because we switched our table salts. And the funny thing is, he found this out through Reels on Instagram. Someone commented that, like, you might be deficient in iodine. And he's a fact checker, so he checked the facts, and that's how we realized that that's what it was. So, very thankful to that person on Reels for For honestly, it's timing because I was in so much pain. So it was just great timing that he came across this reel. Okay, I think that's enough blabbering on about me and all of my issues. But it's honestly something to keep on your radar. Um, if you don't eat a lot of seaweed or sushi or things like that, or if you don't use regular table salt, instead you're buying Himalayan pink salt, any of those like specialty ones, kosher salt even, do check that they are um, fortified with iodine, or else you too might be suffering like a deficiency or something. If you're like really tired and you can't explain it, or you get like weird tingling in your body. The other thing with iodine is it slows down your thyroid. So if you're experiencing crazy weight gain for some reason, or you can't lose weight for whatever reason, that could be something to look into too. But you don't realize how important vitamins and minerals are. And if you don't have a steady, healthy diet of fresh produce, or at least getting your greens every day, then you're going to suffer in some sort of deficiency of vitamins. It's crazy. It's crazy. Especially during the winter. Vitamin D is a huge one too. It'll slow you down and make you kind of lethargic and stuff. So it's just because we're in Canada, we don't get enough sunshine. And this winter has been so dark. So dark. I think we've had a total of like 4 really nice sunny days. And one of those days was Wednesday when I walked to school to pick up the kids. And that was my first time walking to school this year. Oh, and we live like 5 minutes down the road from the school. Like, it's not a big walk or anything. So it was so nice being able to walk to school to pick them up. Yeah, we all needed the sunshine. And at least our kids are getting it because they're outside playing for every recess. The school doesn't keep them inside at all unless the temperatures drop or it's raining or storming for some reason. So they're getting lots of exposure to sunshine, which is great. But yeah. Okay. Enough blabbering on. Let's talk some knitting. So the first thing I wanted to share with you was my storm sweater. I finished this a while back. I think it was like the second or third week of January. I finally finished it. It was supposed to be a gift for my husband, and it was, but then I took it. Here is the final product. It's made out of Cascade 220 in Forest Heather, and it's a pattern by Petite Knit. And this is the storm sweater, but the male version, because I love a good fisherman style sweater, I guess, like an Irish fisherman, like the big beautiful textured sweaters, or like the ones with the cables and things. So I really wanted him to have one of these, and they're his favorite style of sweater too. Thing is, the bugger doesn't wear it, and the reason he doesn't wear it is because I made it too big. But that's okay because I took it. And I love it so much. It is such a cozy, beautiful sweater. It makes me so happy. It's been keeping me so warm this winter. The office I work at is flippin' freezing. So I've got a desk heater. I've turned up the heat in the whole building, and I'm still freezing cold. The girl that works with me and her and like everybody that works there is always cold. Like, we're all wearing extra cozy clothing and stuff. So it's not just me, it's the building. But so this sweater features a lot of fun patterns. Let me show you on the back. It's got this broken 2x2 rib. It's got this dotted stitch here. It's got this beautiful, I don't know what you call it, like a brocade maybe? No, I don't know. It's like diamonds in pearl bumps. And then it's got this slanting pattern, and then it's all broken up by these pearl ridges. So, yeah. And then the ribbing on the bottom, you pick up stitches for the neck, you cast on the back, and then you short row shape it and stuff. And then once you've created like your back panel decently enough to like for the you knit the back panel until the underarm, and then you go and pick up stitches for the front, and you do each side panel first, the front panels, and then you join it all together after you reach the underarms, and you pick up stitches for the neckline, which was actually really easy and very nice, and like no issues with pulling and tightening. And it's, as much as most people hate on petite knit, her patterns are beautiful. They're very well written, they're very clear to understand, but her size inclusion has been an issue in the past. Now all of her patterns are, I don't know if they're fully size inclusive, but they do go up to 5XL for women's garments and things. So I do believe she's taken that into consideration now, but I can't speak to that fully because I haven't actually looked into it. I've just noticed that the sizing has increased exponentially compared to what it was before. So yes, I knit this exactly to pattern. I think I did the second or third size in. I think B has a 42-inch chest, though I don't know because he's lost a lot of weight too, and that could be why I made this too big, because when I started working on it, he was bigger and then he lost a whole bunch of weight. The other thing is the sleeves are way too long, so I have to wear them folded up. I'm not going to cut it back and make shorter sleeves or anything like that. Pepper. Shh. You want to say hi? Here she is. You want to say hi? You want to sit beside me and be quiet? She's been so needy lately, so loud. And I think it's honestly because she's shedding. She is shedding like crazy. Her spring coat is coming in. Hi. Yes, do you want to lie down on my lap then? Are you going to be quiet? You're going to lie down? Just quiet. But yes, so, yes, like I said, huge sleeves, way too long. Even on him, they were like here, so he just doesn't, he's too big for him. I'm gonna have to probably knit him a smaller one because A, he really does enjoy this sweater and he thinks it's beautiful, and B, it was just such a great fun knit. Once I started, I kind of couldn't stop. It did get put down for a little bit because we moved and we got busy and stuff, but then once I picked it up, it was just done. It was great. Can you just relax, please? Can you just relax? Can you just relax? So today my drink of choice is coffee because it's very early in the morning. It is currently 9 a.m. I just dropped the kids off to school and ran home to record this podcast for you. This is my first actual day off at home in 2 months, 3 months. I don't think actually December was crazy busy too. With all the snowstorms, it's when it started. Pretty much November, mid-November was when the snowstorm started and haven't stopped. In fact, we're supposed to get like another 20 centimeters today for some reason. And if you're in the Toronto area or the Hamilton area, or even, anywhere around that area, you would have been hit with the crazy snowstorm last week as well. The difference is we got more snow. Our highways in the area got shut down. I couldn't even go to work if I wanted to. the school got closed. Like it was bad. It was bad. There was so much snow and it fell so fast. And now we've had like a few days of warmth and melting snow. So we've no issues with flooding and no issues with ice anywhere, which was great. But the sunshine came out, started melting everything, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I thought spring was finally here. We were finally going to catch a break and it was going to be good. But no, snow's coming back. Spring of deception. Do you like my mug? I got this from Dollarama. They had these mugs for Valentine's Day, and then they had matching glass ones. So I got one of each, and the glass ones I love to use for tea. Yes, I know you're so needy. I know. The nails are so sharp again. I'm gonna have to cut them. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you is my Robinia sweater from Anne. Oh, I'm going to put it up on the screen for you, but it's Anne Vencel. She's also a Norwegian designer. I'm going to confirm that. Is it Norway? I don't know. I can't remember. But she is also a beautiful designer. I absolutely love all of her designs. But I don't know if they're for me to wear. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Pepper. You just relax. You're so wound up. You're just so wound up. So, here it is. I used Peer Gynt from Sansgarn in a whole bunch of different colors. I think this one is, no, it's not. I can't remember what all the colors are, and I don't even know if I have any leftovers. I didn't even keep the ball bands, but if you go back to one of my previous episodes, I'm pretty sure I talk about all the colors there. I do also need to make a project page for these. I have not done that in quite some time. No, have not. But I also don't have photos of these things, so I mean. Anyway, it's a drop shoulder construction. Has this really fun pattern on the front. The whole sweater, like her sample is knit in one color, with this being a contrasting color. I wanted to use a whole bunch of colors and make it really fun, and I love it. I do, but it fits weird, and I don't like the way it sits, and I don't really love the drape of it with this fabric. I mean, her samples were knitted with like 4 different strands of yarn held together throughout the pattern, so it created a light, airy, bulky fabric, because the Robinia is supposed to be knit with bulky weight yarn, as in you're holding like a strand of fingering, a strand of lace weight, or 2. So it creates a very much different fabric versus using just one strand of a yarn, which can make for a denser fabric, I guess. But yeah, the other thing is the neckline is way too big on me. I kind of hate it. So when I go to wear it, it's pretty much like off the shoulders on me. The other thing I don't love is these huge, huge sleeves. Ow, you're ripping my pants. Can you stop? With your claws? With your claws? But yes, these, I mean, the ribbon kind of pulls it in tight, but it is a huge sleeve. So I'm thinking of taking this apart and using the yarn for something different. That's on a to-do list. I'll probably make a little tutorial of how I take apart this sweater, because I have, sitting in front of me here, I have 3 more sweaters I want to take apart because I lost a ton of weight, so they no longer fit. And I still love the sweaters, so I might re-knit them. But I might also just knit something completely different because, as I'm sure you know, your Ravelry Raspberry is probably the same as mine with like 100 different patterns in it. So might not be a bad idea to try knitting something different. Can you stop ripping my pants? Go away. Ugh. Right, I'll be back. All right, Pepper's out of the room, and now I'm fully covered in her hair. It's great. She is shedding like crazy right now. All right, moving on. Behind me here is my Easy V pullover from Caitlin Hunter. I used Cascade 220 again in, no, Barocco Vintage. That's what it was, Barocco Vintage. And I used Japanese Heather. This is Cascade Superwash Wave. I cannot remember what colorway that name was. And then the blue is, or maybe it is Cascade 220. Yes, it is. I am lying. My apologies. It's Cascade 220 in Japanese Maple Heather and Pacific Heather, I think. Again, talked about it on a previous episode. So, sorry. Ah. Yes. Let's see. What else is there? What is there to say about it? I knit the body shorter than I was supposed to, and I'm beginning to think I might regret that because when I put my hands up, you can see my whole belly. But that could also just be the effects of a rounded yoke sweater. Otherwise, it fits great. I love it. Apparently, I blocked it before I wove in all of the ends. Like, these have not been woven at all. So I will still have to do that, including that one, and I think maybe the one on the neck. Yep. I don't know if I actually wove in any of the ends. So I'll have to look at that before I can wear it. I'm going to have a problem in terms of picking a bra to wear underneath it because all of my bras are racer backs. So, yeah, I might have to get like a strapless or something, or a regular strap bra, which I don't own. So, yeah, I'll have to figure that out because I don't think I want to wear a t-shirt underneath it or anything because it's going to look kind of weird, especially because it all sits farther off. But yeah, it's a top-down rounded yoke sweater. It's got this great colorwork pattern in it, which is actually interesting because, oh my gosh, Pepper made me so itchy for some reason. So it's a top-down rounded yoke pattern. You start with the ribbing on the neck and you increase as you go. Then you've got your color work, but the color work was actually supposed to be 3 different colors that you would alternate. I chose to use 2, mainly because I just couldn't figure out what 3 colors of the Superwash Wave I wanted. In Caitlin's pattern, I find it looks really busy to the point where you can't see the design at all. So I wanted it to stand out a little bit more, and I don't know, it's also kind of cheap. I didn't want to have to buy so much yarn. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely love the blue with the brownie red. I think it looks great. So yeah. So before I go into, All right, let's talk about what I've been working on because there's been a lot of knitting happening that I haven't been sharing with you, and it's kind of, sorry, I just remembered one of my designs that I'm working on that I haven't picked up in a little while. It's funny how you just like forget about everything because your brain's going 100 miles a minute, thinking about all these things with the children and running a house and going to work and paying your bills and oh, and then trying to run a side hustle on the side is just interesting. Interesting. All right, what I've been knitting on. First off, let me start by saying I've been knitting a ton of patterns. A ton of patterns. So I just have to get my act together, sit down and write them all out now. But I've also picked up my stripe hype dress. Yes, that is the name of it. By Kotova Kika. Or just Kika. I'll make sure to link it down below so you can check it out. But she said she knit this dress in 12 days. So I'm on day 4, I believe. And this is how far I've gotten. What do you think? I started knitting this originally, but I had to rip it all out because I was making it way too big. So now I'm knitting the size medium in Peer Gynt. So the yarn looks kind of wonky because it is wonky. It's been ripped out from the previous design that was sitting on my needles for a while. That's great. I just lost a ball of yarn. Oh, there it is. So, I mean, you can see it's all noodly. But that will block out just fine when I go to do that. So I'm using a couple different colors. Originally I added in green, but I found, and here's the sleeve from the original patterning, that with the green it was just a lot darker than I wanted it to be. But I'm still going to use the cream for the contrast, for the cuff. Well, still going to use the cream the same way as it is here. I was going to switch it to the dark green, but I think, again, it'll still give it that dark vibe, and I really like how much brighter it looks without it, so I'm going to leave it out. So, like I said, Peer Gynt Sans Garn, it's a heavy DK, almost a worsted weight. And in the pattern, she's actually holding like a couple different strands of yarn together, so for her it works out to be DK. I wanted it to be a slightly thicker, warmer fabric so I could wear this in the wintertime too. Because nothing better than wearing dresses in the winter. It's so much fun. But yes, so it'll block out great with this gauge and everything. I am using all of the colors. So we've got of course it doesn't tell you. I'm pretty sure this is like blush pink. I've got this color, and I believe it's called Poppy. I've got purple, and it's called Blackberry, Blackberry. These all have color numbers on them, but if you shop at my local yarn store has actual names for these. The Galt House of Yarn. So if you go to buy them from them, they have all of the colors. There's so many colors. Then there's this mustard color, which is actually out of stock now, but you can't see it. But up there, I have a whole bag that I bought on discount because they were getting rid of it. So I bought like 10 extra skeins just in case, because I didn't know how much I needed. Here's the green I was using. blue. I'm pretty sure this is just navy. So, and it's all living in this beautiful IKEA basket of mine. So you can see there's a whole bunch of yarn in there. And Pepper has been loving pulling it all out and working on and playing with it. So yeah, I'm very excited to have this off the needles and wearing it. It is supposed to be past your knees, and then the sleeves are about here, but I might make them longer. And again, it is just a like a, what's it called, a crew neck? Yeah, just like a regular neck. I would have loved to have a turtleneck, but I totally agree that it should be like a wear all the time dress rather than just a winter dress. So yeah. Okay. So that is it for patterns that I've been knitting of others. I mean, I have like 1,000 projects on the needle still that I want to get through, but we're gonna tackle it one at a time. I'm gonna go for the thing that I want to knit the most, and then designs on top of that, instead of getting myself overwhelmed with picking up too many things. And then there's nothing worse than leaving off in the middle of a pattern but not writing down where exactly you're leaving off, and then just completely forgetting what you were doing every time. For example, my Stria cardigan from Andrea, I left it off in some sort of increase section and I forgot to write down where it was, and now I'm probably going to pull apart the whole entire thing and start over because I also know I messed up some of the increases, so it might be beneficial to do that regardless, but it's annoying. So yeah. Okay, I have a few designs to share with you. I'm not going to go into crazy detail because that will be a later thing. And it's something I'm saving for Patreon. So, first off, my Dickie. This is my first ever almost garment design. I love this. Love this so much. I selfishly knit it for myself because I bought myself this beautiful coat in they're kind of like Hudson's Bay colors, but not, and it's a tweed, and it's got the beautiful like shawl V-neck, but I can't, it's a winter coat, but I can't wear it because of the crazy V-neck, so I figured this thing would be perfect. Yeah, so the yarn I used is a combination of mohair, and this is the yarn I used. The mohair I used, it is Kid Silk by Drops in this lovely mustardy color. And then the main yarn is this. Hello. This is what I have left over. It's unspun Icelandic style, kind of like a Plotulopi. But it is from Crux Fibers, and it's yellow. It is yellow, and it's so beautiful. And there's still so much left that I'm gonna have to knit something else with it, obviously. I'm not sure what yet, but it'll probably be a companion piece to that, maybe a hat or something. But yeah, it is technically, I believe, like a DK more than a fingering. If you can hear that, it's Pepper at the door going crazy because I locked all the doors so she can't come in here at all now. But yes, these two held together make this beautiful shade of yellow, and it's bottom up with the cowl, with a nice big cowl for extra warmth. And then there's the back of it. And it's got slip stitches, cables, and it has this beautiful, fun detail on the front. I don't even know what you would call that. It's kind of like a flower bud kind of situation. It's really fun. I love it. And then yeah, I made the cowl extra big and fuzzy. Whoops. So it starts off small, and then you increase stitches to make this beautiful overhang here. Let's see. I love it. I love it so much. Yes. I still have to block it, I still have to weave in the ends, and I still have to write out the pattern. So that's on my to-do list for later today. Okay. So we're gonna fly through these next things a little quicker. The next thing I have to share with you is this hat design. It's a folded brim. Oh, yeah, see, I haven't even woven in any ends. Oh, I know why. I lost my needles. That's what it is. I cannot find my smaller darning needles at all. So, yeah, all I have is like the really huge ones for bulky weight yarn. I have to figure out where they are. I have to find them. Search through everything. I feel like I put one in a coat pocket one time and then just completely lost it. So that's interesting. But yes, probably hard to see because it's such a dark yarn, but it is so soft. I have a leaf motif with baubles on it. I hope that's showing up okay and it's not blowing out like crazy. Let me pop it on for you. Might look weird because of my bangs, but I don't care. There it is. Again, I still have to block it, weave in all the ends and everything, but it's supposed to be a little bigger, slouchier, nice warm hat. So, yeah, I love it. It's so soft, and I used this is Blue Faced Leicester BFL from Crux Fibers in this what did she call this? Houseplants or something like that colorway. And then I paired it with this lovely mohair from Feel Kulana. It is crazy soft. It's more silk, like it has a higher silk content, so it's really nice and soft as compared to this one. I think this one is a 75-25, and this is like a, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think this one is like 25% mohair, and this one's like 30% mohair, or something like that. But yeah, silk, no mohair, silk. But I mean, I guess you could even tell just from like the little halo it's got that there's more. Like it's softer and fluffier. The next thing I want to share with you the next thing I want to share with you is these two designs. The first is this basic cabled beanie with a folded brim. Oops. There we go. It is knit with bulky weight yarn. It's supposed to be oversized and big and slouchy and comfy, and I have a huge head, so apologies for that. But yes, huge bulky hat, super cozy, super warm. I cannot recall the yarn I used off the top of my head, but I do have it. I still have the ball band somewhere. I just have to find it. But yeah, this will be a free pattern on Patreon. along with this. I still have to block this thing, but it is a headband. Just let me show you. See, just like that, and then you would tie it in the back. And the other thing I want to do with it is embroider a couple little details on it and include that as well, because embroidering on knits is gonna be so much fun. But basically, it's just got your, there you go. You got your increases, and then you just knit all the way, and then you decrease, and that's it. And then you pretty much just make it to the length you want. You can tie it in the back when you go to wear it very easily. And yeah. Or you could even put in a button if you wanted to somewhere. It wouldn't be very difficult to do that. But yeah. It's just a little cable pattern on either side. And I actually had an idea for a bigger shawl design with this little detail that I'm going to add. And yes, this will also be a free pattern on Patreon. And then I'm going to include tutorials on how to embroider, because I want this to be like a teaching pattern, I guess, where you would learn to embroider on your knits, because the fabric is perfect for it. And it's almost like a clean slate, I guess you could call it. But yeah, I love it. I'm so excited to wear it. I'm so excited to embroider on it. But yeah, see? It's so cozy too. I'm using I used 2 strands of fingering and 1 strand of mohair for this, and it's undyed, I think it's Palette from Knit Picks, undyed. And I've had it in my stash forever, thinking I was gonna knit up. I'm gonna use it for a blanket, but when you need yarn for a design. I was gonna knit the, what is she called? You know the pattern where you do the magic knot ball from all your like leftovers from socks, other blankets, things like that. And then that was supposed to be held double with a skein of undyed fingering weight yarn, and then it was you're knitting a blanket. And it was from, I'm gonna butcher it, but Byron, I don't know. Bears something. Oh, I cannot remember her name. I'll try and link it down below in case you're interested. But yeah, so those will be 2 free patterns over on my Patreon. Again, I still have to flip and write out the patterns and get to it. So again, another thing on my to-do list. Let's see, what else can I share with you that I've been designing? Sock design on the needles. It's obviously on hiatus because I've been knitting 1,000 other things. This is with Arwetta from Feel Kawana. I love, love, love all the colors. They're so great. Let's see what else. What's in here? Oh, this is a new shawl design I'm working on with Mondim and fingering and mohair held together. I believe I'm using, where's the ball band? Yes, Tin Silk mohair from Sanskar in this beautiful shade. It's like a, I don't even know, brownie, orangey, red color. And then the Mondim is in this pink shade, so I thought the two went really nicely together. And it is predominantly moss stitch with a little bit of lace. So this is as far as I've gotten. I want to try and use up everything before I bind it off, because I kind of want it to be like a one skein project. And I've had this pink sitting in my stash forever. I was supposed to knit socks with it, and I love Mondim yarn for socks, but I don't like knitting socks with it because it's a thicker fingering weight yarn, and it's what do you call it? It's toothy, so it doesn't. Kind of hurts my hands to knit with. Like it feels like it's very tight and hard. So I don't know if I would just need to knit like bigger socks with it. Maybe use it like a DK instead. But yeah, the one pair of Mondim socks I knit for myself are my absolute favorite because they're just so cozy and they feel so nice on your foot, and they don't get wet as easily if you wear them in your boots in the wintertime. So they kind of have like a wicking thing in them. But yeah, they're just so beautiful. But yeah, so that's the shawl. Okay, let's see. And then, oh, I'm also working on this. It's a bit of a mess right now because it's in the middle of a row, of course, but it's also going to be a huge cozy shawl. And it's double knitting. If you've never done double knitting, it is so easy. It is so easy, but yes. So it's two-sided, of course. And I used blackberry and I used this chartreuse color, and they're so fun together. And it's going to be a color work design on the here. So what I'm planning is a shawl, of course, a scarf, like a shawl-y scarf, I guess. But yeah, there's going to be a huge bloom right about here. And then I don't know if there'll be 2 blooms or maybe 3, or I'll just do the one and then decrease the next side. But we'll see how big the bloom turns out and how much, what the length will potentially be. But yes, it is such a thick, cozy scarf so far. I am using Peer Gynt again because they have so many beautiful colors and it is such a nice yarn. And then the last thing I'm going to share with you is another pattern I have to write up that I just finished. It's in here. Oh yeah. And this is another hat design that I just made up. Sucks because you can't terribly see the pattern, but it's there. And it's a double brim kind of hat that you can wear folded. And I am going to put it on for you, but know that sorry, I'm having a hard time with this hat right now. Basically, there's your brim. And it's got this daisy flower color work on it. And I'm going to put it on, but it's too tight on my head. I don't know if it was just like my gauge. The color work gauge ended up being like way too tight or what, but yeah, because the top of the head is great. Yeah, I think it's just the color work. Also, I have a ginormous head. It's like 24 inches around. Like, it's a huge head. So when I gave this to my mother-in-law to try on, it fit her perfect. She is going to get this hat after I am finished with it. But I'm probably also going to use her head for the photographs. See, it's just tight on my head. It's kind of nice, but it's too tight. And then my bangs. I probably look ridiculous right now. It's mainly the bangs that are so annoying. Other than that, it's cozy, it's lovely, and I used, I'm going to have to make a bigger one for myself in another color combination, something like brighter. I'm also going to make a tutorial for this one from using, I'm lying. I am going to make a tutorial for this, but it's going to be while I'm knitting a sample for my daughter. So it'll be smaller and it'll be quicker. But it's fingering weight yarn. I'm using Knit Picks palette in this mustard, and I believe it's called, oh gosh, it's Hare, H-A-R-E, Hare Heather. this color right here. It is a browny, beigey kind of color, gray, brown, gray, beige. I don't know what you want to call it, but yes, hare, H-A-R-E, like rabbit. So yes, and I think this color is called turmeric. Turmeric. Yeah. So yeah. Last thing, because I picked it up recently, just to finish the other sleeve finally, because that's all I had to do is just the I-cord on the other sleeve, is this tank top. Oops. So I used, sorry, the needles are everywhere. So it's an I-cord bind off that you have to do. So you have to pick up stitches and then you have to do the I-cord. We do that for the neck and the other arm. And it's Fioccolana Arwetta again. I love the purple and the orange together. I think it's so fun. And it's the Sailor Swift top from Kotova Kika again. So it will block out to be a little bit bigger, but it's supposed to have negative ease. It's supposed to fit tight, like almost, well, like a tank top, really, like a fitted tank top. So yeah, it sits close to the skin and everything. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one, especially now with the weather getting warmer and things. I say that, and it's supposed to be like -4 all week with snow and craziness. But I am hopeful, because maybe if I take out my spring knits and my summer knits, the weather will come. But yeah, anyway, that is that. It's got ribbing on the bottom, twisted rib, so at least that wasn't an I-cord bind off, but yeah. Okay. All right. I believe that is, oh, nope, I'm lying. One more design on the needles, and check out this adorable sewing box I thrifted. I think somebody painted it, which is kind of a shame, but whatever. Yeah, it looks like there's really nice wood underneath there. But I might have to take it off, the color, but we'll see. Anyway, it's so cute. Look at this thing. It opens like this, and it sits flat open. There's a little pocket in there. And yes, it is definitely painted. You can tell the natural wood inside. Okay. In here, I've got that natural yarn I was telling you about. And I'm knitting a shawl. And I'm really excited about this one. I haven't put much time into it because I kind of keep forgetting about it. But it's got this beautiful spine. And then I have a cable going across the top. And then checkerboard color work randomly throughout. So I have a patch here, and then I'm going to knit a while, and then add another patch, and then knit a while, and then add another patch. And what's going to happen is after I'm going to embroider lazy daisies on the color work, like over this checkerboard pattern in a contrasting yarn. And they're going to be, the lazy daisies are going to cover this whole entire section. And I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to look amazing. But yes, so the other side looks like this. And once you're wearing it, you're never going to notice that. And it's going to block out nice and smooth, especially if your tension is nice and even. It'll block out really nicely. So, yes. So I'm holding this with fingering. It's fingering and mohair held together, and then I used a strand of fingering and mohair for the contrast. I actually don't know if the mohair is in here. Oh yeah, that's where it is. So what I did is I used a mini skein, like a very small mini skein, because I only needed like a little bit. So it was like a 10-gram ball. And then I am making a huge mess of this. There we go. I wound the two together so that it would just be easier to knit. And then this is the leftover from that patch. Oh my goodness, there we go. This mini skein was kind of like a one-off that I got from Craft House Magic when I placed an order for some knitting needles, because she has Haya Hayas and I really like those. So I ordered that from her, and one of the gift that she gives you is she throws in a little mini skein of yarn, like a little 10-gram ball or 10-gram hank. So yes, I also have just like a huge stash of mini skeins hanging around for various blankets and things, so it's kind of nice being able to pull them and so it's kind of nice to be able to like pull them and use them whenever I want for other things. So yeah. All right. All right, let's talk about what I've been reading lately. It has not been a very productive reading time. We've watched way too much TV as a family, so there hasn't been a lot of reading time. Um, B and I had started doing a read one chapter a night thing. I also got him journaling for a bit, but that's fallen off the radar. So now I'm just sneaking in book time whenever I can. But these are the I feel like there was another book I read. Maybe I read it on my Kobo or something. I don't even remember. Anyway, here are the books I read. Oh, this one I'm reading. But we've got What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This is a short story kind of situation because it's only 158 pages. Yeah. If this is considered a horror, I guess. I don't know. It's, let me read the back to you real quick. A gripping and atmospheric reimagining of Edgar Allan's Poe. A gripping and atmospheric reimagining of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. And that's exactly what it is. It's a gothic retelling. It's a gothic horror, I guess you'd call it. It's a short story-ish. I mean, it's not very long, like I said. I like that they have a little bit of artwork, I guess, in it. I read Nettle and Bone, and I really loved it. It's kind of like it throws you into the middle of the story without throwing you into the middle of the story, but it's just, the stories are straight and to the point. And this was a great novel. We follow I completely forgot the person's name. So in this novel, we follow Easton, who is a soldier. For the longest time when I was reading this, I thought Easton was a boy. It's a girl. So Easton is a female soldier. She is part of the background is made up. So Galatian. So she's from a place called Galatia, which is a made-up place. And in that place, women can join the army. They have a different kind of language, and they use pronouns very differently. There's no like he, she so much as a they. So that was actually kind of interesting, and it was actually interesting figuring out the gender of Easton with the pronouns and the way they are used, and they explain. It's all explained within the novel, so it's really well done. Anyway, Easton is summoned by his friend Madeline Usher to her house because something terrible is happening and she is sick and dying. So Easton heads over to their house where he meets Roderick Usher, who used to be a soldier with her, and they fought together in the wars. And she's there to help the family figure out what's wrong with Madeline and to try and save her. So it's a lot of dark, twisty storytelling. The cover of the book kind of just tells you what's going on. Miss Potter is there. She is Beatrix Potter's cousin, and she studies mushrooms and fungi and things like that. So she ends up being a help. And there is an American soldier there as well, but he is a surgical, like a, oh my god, I'm butchering this so bad. I'm gonna have to rewind. Okay. So first up is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This is a gothic, atmospheric horror retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's The House of Usher. In it, we follow Easton, a soldier from Galatia, who travels to her friend Madeline's house, Madeline Usher, because she's been summoned there. She's been summoned because Madeline is dying, and she's reaching out to her for help. So Easton travels to the House of Usher, where she reunites with a long-lost friend and meets some very interesting characters along the way. And parts of it, I don't know, the one person on here calls it grotesque. I wouldn't call it grotesque. I didn't find anything horribly disgusting or disturbing. It's just very gothic. Yeah, as in like dark and creepy, but not horrifying, I guess. I don't know. It was a great book. It was really good. I couldn't put it down. I just kind of wanted to know what was up, and you get sucked in pretty quickly. It is a shorter story, so it moves faster than most novels do, I guess. It's like straight to the point, I guess would be the best way to describe it. There's another book in the series, also about Easton. It is called What Feasts at Night. It's on my TBR. And in it, Easton So in this one, Easton travels to a forest with two of the characters from the first story, and things happen. It has to do with superstitions and horror again in a dark, creepy, gothic forest. So very excited to read this one again. I mean, there's imagery in there, and well, just a little bit, but again, it's a short novel, only 150 pages again, so it'll be a quick read, but yes, definitely on my TBR. So I do enjoy T. Kingfisher. She's got, I read her Nettle and Bone story, so I read her Nettle and Bone novel, and it was really, really well done. It was gripping. I'm really enjoying these like straight to the point stories where there's not like a whole ton of world building, and there's not a whole ton of background story that's shared about the characters. You know, like there's not a ton of character development. The characters just kind of enter the scene fully developed, I guess would be one way to put it. Like, I don't, it doesn't feel like you need crazy amounts of backstory to understand the characters. There's no like character growth that happens throughout it either, because you're kind of just thrown into a moment, and then Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right. The other book I read was Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basterga. This is a horror novel. I don't know if it's actually described as that, but it was horrifying. It was. This is not for the faint of heart. It is disturbing. I couldn't put it down because I was so disgusted, I guess. I don't know. It was so interesting. It grasped me fully and it like pulled me in and I wanted to know where the story was going, but it was also so disturbing. Like, oh, it's if you don't know this novel, it's a dystopian So in this novel, we follow Marcos, who works at a local processing plant. Now, this is a dystopian novel, so nothing is true in it, but it's terrifying. I don't want to give away too much because you might want to read it. How do I say this? Okay, so it's a dystopian novel about so in this novel, a pandemic, yes, that's what it was. It was a pandemic, very much like the COVID situation happened, and people were no longer able to eat animals. So what happened is this disease ravaged just the animal population. Humans were fine. But what happened now is that you can no longer eat cow, you can't eat pig, you can't eat chickens. They had to get rid of all pets. Nobody could keep a cat or a dog or any other kind of animal. Literally, like, all animals had to be destroyed. So now people eat people. And people are being farmed for food. And it is really flippin' disturbing because Marcos works at a processing plant where they process humans for food. It was so well done. It's really well done. It's very interesting. You see the world from his position. So in the novel, he's lost his wife. And so he's coming to terms with that, dealing with the situation. His father is dying, so he's losing that. He's got a relationship with his sister that's on the rocks. And without giving too much more, there's a huge twist right on the last page. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. I did not see it coming at all. You definitely think things are going to go very differently. And then that happened. So, great story. Not huge. It's 200 pages, so it's not big. And I devoured it within like 2 weeks. Like, with the reading a chapter a night thing, I crushed it. Could not put it down. I didn't want to stop reading it, but also like, oh, it's so terrible and I hope this never happens. But yes, I also have her other book, 19 Claws and a Blackbird. These are short stories. I have no idea about anything of these, but I grabbed them together. I heard great things about this one, so I was like, oh, I might as well just grab both of them. And so excited I did, because I do really, really want to read these. There's, let's see, quickly. there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 stories in here. Yeah, 19 short stories in here. So it's nice with short stories because you can kind of just read one, then go read something else, come back, read another one, unless you get completely hooked. But I do like her writing style. It is a translation because she is. Is it a translation? Yes. Yes, it was translated from the Spanish. So even the translation is really, really good. It's very nice writing. It's, like I said, it grabs a hold of you and then it destroys you and you can't look away. It's fantastic. Fantastic. But again, if you get squeamish, don't read it. Please don't read it. You're going to like, I wanted to. And then I'm currently reading, I follow Sav R. Miller on Instagram, so she's been posting her books a lot, and so I had to pick it up again because I did get this one, Promises and Pomegranates. I got this off of Amazon, yes, because that's where you can find all the indie author books, pretty much. And now Indigo carries a whole lot of them, so I'll be going to Indigo again, but yeah. This is book 1 of the Monster and Muses story. In it we follow Cal and Elena. This is very much a dark romance. Not fantasy. It's set in the real world. It has to do, it's like a Hades and Persephone retelling. Cal is Hades, Elena's Persephone. Cal is a doctor, well, used to be a doctor, is now a fixer for the mafia, and Elena is the mafia's like the daughter, mafia daughter, I guess you would say. And it's a forced marriage, forced proximity, not really an enemies to lovers kind of situation, but they kind of like have to work it out. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I haven't heard the best reviews from this one either, but apparently they get better as you go on because there's 8 of these, I think. They are standalone, so you don't have to read them all, but the characters end up kind of like intertwining. Each one is based off of a different Greek myth. Eros and Psyche are the very last ones. It's called no, I don't remember what it's called. No, I'll try to put it down below. I'll like give you the link to all her books and stories and stuff. But apparently they get better as you go on. Like her writing gets better and stuff like that. Right now it's just a lot of a lot of this, a lot. It almost feels like every other chapter. So there's not a lot of character development. You're not learning a ton about the characters. The storyline is still moving forward, but they're more interested in spending time together like this rather than getting to know each other, which is kind of annoying. So, I mean, I'm on chapter 25 and I still don't know a lot about the characters themselves. It feels a little repetitive because we're going back to the same issue. So, I don't know. I'll finish it, but I'm going to hold off on getting the next book in the series for a little while, so because I have a lot of books to read otherwise, so that's okay. There's a couple of other books I pulled out to share with you because I'm considering reading them next. So like I said, The 19 Claws and Blackbird I want to read next. I want to read What Feasts at Night next, but I also want to read these two. I really like nonfiction right now for some reason. It's been hidden, I guess. I'm still reading. I don't have it out, but I'm still reading one of my nonfiction books. It's just I've been putting it down and getting distracted with other things, so I haven't been reading it as much. But the other nonfiction I want to read is called All the Living and the Dead. It's an exploration of people who made death their life's work. Apparently, I just really like gothic, gory stories, so here's the book. It is written by journalist Haley Campbell as she searches for answers in the people who make a living by working with the dead. She encounters mass fatality investigators and bombers, a former executioner, and gravediggers. She also goes for late night Chinese with a homicide detective and questions a man whose job it is to make crime scenes disappear. Yes, so exciting. I've always been fascinated with like cop dramas, ER stories, things like that for some reason. I feel like I should have gone into medicine, but also not. Coroners are also really interesting to me. Do I ever want to touch a dead body like that though? Probably not. So we learn about it this way. And then I also want to pick up Throne of Glass. People have been going crazy for this. It's the whole series is done. I follow bookstagrammers who've reread it like 3 times, the whole series. So, it must be good. Plus, I did like the, my gosh, what's it called? That other series she wrote. I don't know. I cannot remember what that other series is called. I'm so blanking so hard. See, if I had my library set up in here, I would just look over at my bookshelf, but I do not have any of my books out. They're all still tucked away in boxes everywhere. It wasn't the House of Flames and Shadow, it was the other one. The last book that came out was Orange. I can see it clearly in my head. I cannot think of it though. Oh my goodness, this is sad. But yeah. Anyway, I liked that series a lot. Crushed it really fast. Could not put it down. I think I read it all, not last summer, but the summer before or something like that. Yeah, that sounds right. So yes, now I'm looking to expand my horizons and read other things. So I would love to hear what you're reading right now, what you're interested in, what's on your TBR, what you've just finished, what you would highly recommend for me. I would love to hear your suggestions. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!